are still experiencing deception burglaries, where people coming around neighborhoods are telling you either they're contractors and they want to take a look at your gas or water meter inside the house, they want to check out your windows or your roof or whatever, and what they do is they'll send one person at the front door and maybe send somebody in the back, or they'll take you upstairs and somebody else will go through your house on the first floor. Do not let anybody in your house unless you purposely called them to your home. Because in this area, they are hitting the elderly residents left and right, and I don't want to hear that any of you have been victimized. Once again, share this information with your neighbors and your family, that deception burglaries are still going on. We have our investigative services units and burglary units all over it. That community association has a very active Facebook page, and as this young man was going to different houses, people were posting it, so they were basically able to virtually follow him where he was going through the neighborhood, which is another good reason why, if you don't have a Facebook page, it's good to have a community group one. You can limit it to whoever you want, set up your settings for it. I heard somebody joking around in the back, don't be one of those idiots that says, hey, I'm going to be out of my house for a week.
Yeah.
Don't post that stuff, yeah. Be very mindful about what you put out there.
2 weeks to the islands.
But it is a good venue for community notifications, so just keep that in mind.
We had, one of my neighbors emailed me, this is maybe about a month or so ago, and said that they had 2 minorities come to their door. They said that they're trying to work their way out of being poor.
Were they lime green jackets?
I don't remember hearing what kind of jacket.
Because they were all through our neighborhood, they came to my house at 8 o'clock at night.
I emailed them back and I said, did anybody call 911? And so then I put a blast email out and I said, please, if anybody comes to your door and saying whatever, don't let them in. And they're targeting seniors, and please, they could be casing.
Right.
Please
'Cause
call
what they'll do
911.
is, if you're going to give them money,
Have them check
and you're
it
going
out.
to go to, let's say, your china cabinet or wherever you stash your money, your cash, they're going to be mindful of that, and then they're going to come back when you run out to the grocery store and hit your house, or they're just going to knock you over the head and take it.
Right.
So don't put yourself in that situation. And if there is somebody that you feel is even remotely suspicious, call us and let us determine it, so that way we can both put you at ease and find out maybe this person's got a warrant on them. Because usually if somebody's going door to door, there's something shady about it. But they're brave enough and they feel comfortable enough to do that.
Someone was mugged across the street after a meeting you were here.
Yes.
And then that person had someone approach them and give them $100 afterwards, and said that they were sorry that they went through that and hoped that helped them out.
Yeah.
And here at the Dundalk Historical Society, after the windows were broken, we've had people come in making small donations and things of that nature. So although we have bad things, there's a lot of good, and there's a lot of good people in our community doing a lot of good things.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because you were there that night. It was actually one night we had a meeting here, and my car was parked right outside, and somebody felt comfortable enough to knock an old lady down and take her pocketbook and rob her of her money. And a good Samaritan who was going into Rite Aid saw that she was hurt, and several people assisted this lady until we could get additional units and the medics there. And there were so many people that wanted to help, but we actually had to push some people away. And one gentleman came up and said, how much did you lose? And she said maybe, $50 or $75 or whatever. Reached right in his pocket, pulled out a fresh $100 bill that he just withdrew, and walked away. He didn't want to give his name or anything. Just said, this could have been my mom. And I was proud at that moment. In reference to the windows here, that was another thing I wanted to discuss. We had DNA taken off the blinds because there was some blood left behind, and we worked the case. We tried to find as many cameras as possible that might have picked up something. Unfortunately, there was no significant leads.